Welcome, Leos. This is Kat's Real Life Mystic Tarot. I was just meditating on your energies for September 2019. And I had the meditation that you were walking kind of in a wooded area and you came to kind of a stone building house with kind of a wooden doorway, kind of an old, really charming actually. And the door opened and there was quite legitimately a wizard, or what I would describe as a wizard. He didn't have the pointed hat, but he had the long beard. He was, not to make a pun, but wizened looking. And he was waiting for you. And so you come into the house, and the two of you are walking through. And you come to the kitchen, but you keep walking deeper into the house, and the wizard stops you and says, "Where are you going? Why don't you want to be in this room, the kitchen?" And you're still searching for your place. And the wizard brings you closer to him and he says, "Wait a minute." And he puts his hand on your forehead and on the top of your head, your cheeks, and then on your chest. Kind of indicating that you needed a healing or something along those lines. And you did feel a healing. And he asked you to sit down, and he said he's going to tell you a story. The story involved a person going out into the world and not processing his experiences. And he likened your experiences to the food you take in. So for your soul, it's like the food you take in, and you must digest it in order for it to nurture your body. Your experiences are food for your soul that need to be understood and kind of ruminated over so that you have soul growth. So he was asking you to wait, like maybe Leo, you're going out and you've had some experiences, and maybe you don't like the experiences you had, but you keep going forward because you don't want to deal with metabolizing those experiences and what they might mean to you and what adjustments you might make to yourself in order to understand your life experience. So you're being asked to slow down, don't avoid these thoughts, but actually really think about, ruminate, understand, digest, draw, insight. And it furthers you along your soul growth, and as a person, you become, more of who you want to be. And a little bit goes along with the card I pulled for you after I did the meditation, which is Temperance. And this goes along with that. Like, my kind of vision of this is, I don't know, let's say you do a resume, and you have someone look at it and they want to make all these changes. You're like, no, I don't want to make this change. No, I don't see what you see. It's actually taking in advice and an outside perspective. And sometimes it feels a little bit like a little knife to your heart because you're like, no, that was my favorite part. What do you mean? And you see things from a little bit more of a distance rather than being so subjective. It also, to me, is like if you watch The Voice or one of those shows where they're learning, they're singing, and their coach gives them insights in what could make this better, more entertaining, more, draw more watchers, that type of thing. It's learning from an outside perspective, and sometimes it feels a little painful, but the product is improved. So it's along the same lines as your meditation, but let's see how your reading comes out. So we'll jump right in. I do general readings. So if love comes up, love comes up. If career comes up, career comes up. I will address each issue that comes into your life. So I use a horoscope spread, and I'm going to use the ViceVersa tarot. And this is the Dreaming Way tarot. I'll use that to clarify. So we'll start off with ViceVersa. I do shuffle all my decks before I begin, but I'll just charge it up a little bit before I, pull your cards. And I hope you're doing well, Leo. It's been a tough time for us. A really tough time. I'm just telling you what popped out. I got the Ten of Swords in reverse and a fight, like a king of swords. So it's been more than a tough time. You've really felt like you're still living a little bit in the disaster of it, and you're fighting some of the things that you experience. So I'm going to put these back in, and we're going to go again for this reading. Okay. Okay, I'm going to go right away for the clarifier. Okay, so right away I'm seeing some activity in your love sector. So I'll start with that. Just starting with your 5th house. I see some worries. And the 5th house is your love affair house. This is children, love affair, creativity. Because I'm seeing some love issues, I'm going to go into that real quickly. You're worried about some competition. You're worried that there's another woman that's competing for your love, whoever you're interested in. And this can go either way, male or female, but you're concerned that they're attracted to someone else, that they're moving on from you. And that's pretty clear. It does not show at this point that they are. It's just what you're thinking. Okay, and in your 7th house, 10 of Cups and 3 of Swords. So you're starting to feel some nostalgia. You're feeling like now that, maybe possibly you weren't thinking of them as a permanent partner. And the 7th house is really your marriage house. It's your committed partnerships. And you're starting to look back and feeling some heartache because you think, oh, maybe they were the one. And I think previous to the incident that happened, you were not exactly thinking that. You were on the fence. But now in reminiscing, you're thinking, oh, what good times we had. Maybe, and now I've ruined it, or something's happened and it's possibly not going to happen. So you're having some heartbreak, some feelings like this. I'm just going to refer to your 10th house because I thought it odd that in your 10th house you also have a 2 of Cups. So there might be an idea that you were to work with this person. You were kind of wanting to maybe build something with them. You were maybe even starting a business with them, or starting a business with them in mind, something along those lines. Because we have the 6 of Swords, that's a passage from difficulties into smoother waters, and you felt like you had a vision for this. The 2 of Cups, this was your person. It's coming up in the 10th house as well. So let me get a couple more clarifiers on this. And I think maybe I'll throw in the Dali deck, Salvatore Dali deck, and just see what I get from that. So in terms of the competition, is there competition for your love right now? Is there somebody? And this is showing it's just anxiety. You're having anxiety, Leo. You're feeling left out. You haven't heard from them. You feel a distance is building between you and them. And yeah, you're having thoughts that you've been passed over and that it is competition. So what is it really? What is it really then? If it's not competition for the love, what is really going on for Leo? Queen of Wands. So what I'm getting from this is you're either on your own trajectory, you're very busy with your own things. Maybe you've been a little bit bossy or domineering and they need a break. Maybe if you're, well, these are usually not male or female, but if you're a male, they're maybe another woman that has interested you. But in this case, I'm just seeing that maybe your energy was a little bit strong, a little bit opinionated, a little bit domineering, all those things. And that person probably needs a break. So tell me a little bit more. I'm going to go to your 7th house. Tell me a little bit more about this person. And I'm not seeing multiple persons for you. I feel, Leo, you're thinking of one, but something's happened. Let's see. Tell me about this person in your 7th house. Okay. So probably a water sign is what I'm getting. That's Pisces, Cancer. What are the water signs? Pisces, Pisces, Scorpio, Cancer. Sorry. And now this, when I give you those signs, it's not rigid. It really is just their energy. So they're having, it's more like they have an emotional energy that you're picking up, and they're leading with their emotions. So this is an emotional person. You probably have been a little strong with them. You've probably pushed them a little bit. Maybe were demanding or a little bit of a strong energy for this soft energy. So there's something like that playing out, and you're feeling regrets at this point. You're feeling like nostalgic for them. Is there still a possibility? Is there still a possibility for Leo? Still a possibility? Okay, so this card, 7 of Cups. There is still a possibility. There's a lot of options. You have a lot of options. They have a lot of options. You might be actually tempted on a different course than this person. Maybe it is a little bit of a difficult or challenging relationship because of your different natures. The suggestion here is don't be too anxious to jump back in, because you're going to experience the same problems with this person, the same issues. They may ghost you again. They might, fail to reciprocate the relationship in the way that you need them to. It's saying explore your options. Okay. So moving on. Let's move on to, let's just go to how you're feeling. This is how you're projecting in the world right now. So you're projecting as someone who's not anxious and who is walking away from a bad situation. So you're not really showing to anyone that you're on the heartbroken side. You're a little feeling emotional, feeling heartbroken, not really showing it. Projection of the incident is like, I walked away and it's not worrying me and I have no thoughts of being left out. This is it. Like, I'm fine. It's them sort of thing. But the truth is a little bit more complex than that. So that's what's going on in your 1st house. And this is, the 1st house in astrology is your image, how other people see you. It's not deeply how you feel. It's more like what you're projecting right now. And let's see. In your 2nd house, 1st, 2nd, let's see. Okay, so I have 2 cards here, and I have your 2nd house in values. You're having, it looks like a new job was an idea that you had as well, and maybe that's the 10th house that you were thinking about. Maybe you could work with this person, or you do have to work with this person and it's difficult, one of those things. So you're feeling that it's changed your work just a little bit, or your ideas of work just a little bit. I have the 2 of Wands and the King of Wands in reverse too. So what I'm thinking is, you don't need that person. You are in charge. King of Wands in reverse. Just be careful you're not over domineering. You don't come on too strong. You want to be certain that you don't have negative fire traits, such as being too dominant, too blunt, too controlling of other people. You need to listen to other people's input, but you are in charge, and don't you don't have to over push how you're in charge. You're already in charge. No one doubts that. So you don't have to push the issue. This is your mental energies surrounding, I think this is really your mental energies concerning work. It can also be with the relationship, because you don't want to push, if you want this person back still, you don't want to push it. It's not going to work to do that. You are already in charge of yourself and your situation. You don't need to have any stronger words with anyone. Just the self-confidence, the knowing, you already have it. In the 4th house. Okay, so in the 4th house, it shows that you are letting go of a burden. And this was, the first card was the Tower. So it was a Tower event for you. It was rocked your foundation. And that's a double meaning for this, because obviously the Tower's foundation is rocked. It's coming down. But also it's coming from your 4th house, which is your foundation. So in the one hand, you feel like you've dropped a burden, but at the same time, you are overthinking it, and you do feel like that's still with you. So there's times when you feel like the burden is dropped and it's fine and I'm happy and everything's good, and other times where you're still ruminating over the issues with the relationship and this work project that you were hoping to possibly initiate with this person. This has really rocked your energies. Maybe this was a surprise, what's come up here, the issues that came up in the relationship, the fact that this person isn't as committed to the relationship as you thought they were, or were hoping they were. It came as a real shock to you. So yeah, but continue with the dropping the burden. Feel the freedom. It does suggest that you need to explore your options. Now's the time to do it. In your 6th house, okay. So in the 6th house, you feel, am I getting a good, let's see, there we go. In the 6th house, you feel like now the final push is on you. You have to do quite a ton of work. You're not certain if you can handle it right now. You just had a Tower event. You're feeling tired, and the requirements are going up and up and up. You need to climb that last part of the hill to the summit. So you're being called on to push with your energy and everything else. You have the 5 of Swords also in this area. It's asking, let's see, some number of things that could be going on here. There could be someone that's a little devious in your work sector. It could be you that's being a little devious. And I want to qualify this devious thing, because in a way, devious can be smart when it comes to business. For instance, let's say there's 2 armies and they have camps close to each other. And one camp is having a drunken party at night, and you're from the other camp, and you are able to sneak in and steal all their swords. They may see you as being a devious thief, someone who plays against the rules, someone who's not to be trusted. While you come back to your camp with all your swords, and they're like, wow, you're a genius. And they're going to put you up in a chair and carry you around and, you know, put a wreath on your head because you saved that camp. So in terms of work, there can be a certain clever, calculating, strategic mind that can come up like this, like the 5 of Swords. But it wouldn't be a negative thing. Now, conversely, you could have someone at work that's undermining, smiling in your face and undermining and gossiping about you. That's another thing that could be going on. So there's 2 ways to look at that, what's happening there at work. So we had talked about your work in the 10th house, and I see coming out of difficulty and 2 of Cups. I'm not really seeing someone giving you a hard time, or if they are giving you a hard time, it's not having an effect on you. So I'm more seeing that possibly you are being very strategic, and in this context, I think it's not a bad thing or nothing to be ashamed or or try to stop doing. I think it's fine. Okay, in your house of your 11th house, we have the seven of swords and justice. So now in your social groups, okay, so in your social groups, there may be someone in your social group that is a little bit of a thief, a little bit possibly gossipy, possibly you know how friends get together and there's one that they might want to pick on or something like that. There might be somebody like that that likes to do things like that. They're going to get their justice. They're going to get their karma. There's karma that goes around, comes around. If it is you, you might receive it. Someone might call you out. Like, yeah, I heard that you said such and such about me. And I, like you to clarify that. And can we talk about this? There could be something like that that happens, and it might be unfair situation. But, yeah. I don't see it as a big incident. This might be kind of a temperance event where someone catches you, you've been saying things that aren't exactly true, and you are forced to look at maybe just a little bit of payback from that. It also could be somebody else and not you that's doing that. So it kind of goes along with the temperance. You might get kind of a correction on your journey, something that's a little bit hard to take in. You didn't think you'd be called out. You're called out. And you make some adjustments in yourself from that. And this can be the greatest thing that can ever happen to you. And actually, I'm getting that too. Like the Wheel of Fortune. Wheel of Fortune in the upright means that this event actually can have amazing repercussions for you, because you may kind of correct your course on something that you think is normal and something you do habitually. You may correct your course, and this may really pay off for you. Okay, so in your 8th house, and this is the 8th house is kind of a mysterious house, but it does deal with concrete matters such as death, sex, other people's money, inheritance, those type of things. It also goes into deep psychology. I think this shows you kind of questioning yourself a little bit. You're a little disappointed and questioning whether you have been maybe somewhat overbearing, and questioning your charisma with people, and if what their feelings truly are with you. This is not major arcana, and this is a small blip, but it strikes home. It's a little bit of a deep push into your beliefs. So I think the incident that I was just, letting you know about is tied to this. And so it might be very hurtful in a way to you. It might be a little shocking, because you're going to look at it like, wow, am I really like this? They can't be serious. And that's just their perception. But it would behoove you to take it in a little bit. And like I said, it's not major arcana. This is not major. It's not a major personality flaw or anything like that. It's just something that you've been habitually doing. You might have to take a look at and take into account your motivation for something like that. So I think it's actually ultimately going to lead you to some really good events in your life if you just take in this little bit of a correction. And again, that's the temperance we're talking about, like on The Voice or your resume, where someone says, hey, I think you should change this. And it seems like it's a major thing to you, but it's not. It's like a small thing. Okay, 9th house. And we do have major arcana here. There's an awakening that needs to happen. And it's the Queen of Pentacles. So there's someone that's a teacher to you. They're a teacher to you, and they speak in very solid, like practical terms. They're very practical. And they may have been trying to force an awakening on you. And I think this is, again, tied into what we were talking about a minute ago. The person that might deliver this message is kind of a practical person, maybe an earth sign, Capricorn, Virgo, Taurus, or an earth energy, someone that tends to think about practical matters. They may bring in this, they might be the one to bring this in to you, this information. Okay, and like something that's kind of unknown to you. I love the 12th house, and the 12th house is about something that you're not aware of. Something that's in your energy, something that's happening, something that's kind of a mystery. You're not aware that this is going on behind the scenes. And so what we have here is, again, the Queen of Pentacles. So that's probably that same person, that earth sign energy, female, most likely female. Could be a male with a female kind of energy. So again, this person is making you look at things from a different perspective. Making you look at things from a different perspective. And this is going to free you from this position. There, you know, if you ever know someone that has just this one little thing, like they're a perfect artist, beautiful artist, but they only like to use black and gray. And you're going, well, why don't you try color painting sometime? They're like, oh no, that's not me. I don't do color painting. And then one day they say, well, okay, let me break out these other colors and just, you know, in the privacy of my home, see what happens. And genius occurs. So it's taking like a small correction. Again, this woman or male, earth energy, slow, kind of methodical, practical. And it gives you this amazing new look at yourself, at the things you do, at the artistry even that you're doing. And let me ask one more question, kind of about your 10th house, the Two of Cups. What are you creating? I mean, what is it that you're creating here? What are you creating, Leo, in September? That someone can give you great advice about, possibly. Okay, this one wants to come. Oh, I have two that want to come out. Okay, so let's see. Oh. Okay, well, it didn't give me any clarity about what it actually is, only that it is your, what's it called? Oh, I can't think of the word. It is your, the culmination of your self. So the World card. So it's very much a, I keep wanting to think of the word. There was